If it were me, Billy would have a really hard time sleeping after everything that happened at the scav haunt, rescuing Sandra Dorset, and the follow up drive-by shooting on the ride home. In real life, I'm enjoying the last cup of coffee I'm gonna get to have for a long time. Not a long time, more like 2 weeks or so. Because my coffee pot broke. That's not important, but it sucks, and so I'm enjoying it. The power button malfunctioned, and the burner could no longer deactivate, and it would just get hotter and hotter and hotter. And so, after frustratedly spamming the off button to no avail, I just ripped it out of the wall and just took it out to the curb and threw it away. And then I still had some coffee grounds left, barely enough for a whole pot, so I decided to just boil it on the stove and make a cup of cowboy coffee, as some people call it, and just enjoy that. And then I'll have coffee again in like 2 weeks. So here's to that. Ugh. I like to think maybe Billy can't sleep, and so he's drinking coffee and staring out the window at the city view. One of his neighbors has a whole park for a balcony with a flying what's that thing called again? Yeah, this thing. It's funny, they say you could urge your security detail to open fire into the traffic ahead. I think it's a news ad or something that says the Night City Transportation Department would like to remind you that using gunfire to advance the flow of traffic is a crime. I don't remember where I first heard that, but that cracked me up so much. Kind of addressing the GTA crowd. Yeah, it's funny you can't get this one, but you know, whatever. There's always Cyberpunk Orion, which I don't know anything about because I'm not reading any rumor articles. So I guess with that, let's just go to bed and start the next day. I'll go back and read that weird pop-up closer later. Will this radio fucking turn off?
V. You get any sleep? No matter. Time you got up.
I think I might have caught something when I jacked into that Corpo's biomod. Dunno, neurovirus or... Need to see Vic. Let him tell me what's got my head reeling, my stomach churning.
Okay, let me take you. I brought you a ride. Throw on some threads, meet me downstairs.
What am I wearing right now? Let's fiddle with costumes a bit. Against my ethics, I'm gonna be rocking this bulletproof vest. I could wear the other one. It just looks clowny. It's just like people are gonna see you from a mile away. I prefer to be a little more stealthy. Right, because you need it to be not silenced for drive-bys. That was my problem with the ride home from the scav haunt, was that the damage was nerfed by 20% by that silencer. That almost killed me. That was really fucking scary, actually. Oh, I never... Hold on. This radio is haunted. Where is this coming from? There's a ghost in my radio. There's the view. Oh, the AV's gone. Okay, so he went to work in the morning. What time is it? 11:15? Okay.
Hey, V. Regina Jones here. If you're looking for work in Watson, give me a call.
How'd you find me? How'd you even know my name?
I know where to gather my intel. Could even call me a collector. Later, V.
So mega buildings are kind of a cramped slum. As you can see, there's a lot of, whoa. People around here think they're probably about to witness a suicide. So mega buildings are a gigantic cluster of apartments and other businesses and such. It's just a bunch of impoverished people packed together so tightly that no one can fucking breathe. Trash everywhere. They're kind of self-contained little towns is how it was described, I think, in a database entry or something like that. You can rent an apartment out of a mega building. You can find work in a mega building. There's groceries. There's general stores. There's pretty much anything you need, like most of the time. If it'd be a really low quality of life to never leave a mega building, but the option is there, and that's like pretty dystopian, at least for me. Let me see if there's lore on it. Okay, so we don't have a database entry for mega buildings, but we have this data shard. Humanity is still facing a monumental existential threats. Climate change has turned into climate disaster. Its effects are irreversible and dangerously unpredictable. Hurricanes, tornadoes, droughts, floods, natural catastrophes are growing in strength and frequency across the continent, leveling entire regions. There's probably a level of shelter to be had in mega buildings. Like in this world, there's acid rain, there's like crazy dust storms that rip across like California. If you're out in the Badlands, you pretty much get swallowed by them. If you're in the city, it's just like pelts everything and makes it like impossible to like walk around on the street. But if you stay in a mega building, like you're more or less sheltered from all that stuff. Sure, like there's a lot of like trade-offs to staying inside, but as the climate gets worse in the world of cyberpunk, the mega buildings actually become a pretty decent umbrella, which is something I hadn't thought of before, and I kind of that's interesting. Also, there's no way that mega buildings in cyberpunk are not at least a little bit inspired by the walled city of Kowloon. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's crazy. The photos of it are unbelievable. It was a real living situation that was happening to a neighborhood in I want to say China. I could be wrong, but basically what it was a neighborhood that it had developed the buildings so densely that eventually they all just started touching, and then they all just it was like structures outgrew themselves, and then they came in contact with their adjacent buildings, and then they grew together until all the like outdoor streets became indoor hallways, and everything became like walled off and roofed, and like I was describing, people would live like years in Kowloon without ever seeing the outdoors, like the sky or the sun or wind or weather, because there were butcher shops in apartments. There were markets in like hallways. It was a contained ecosystem, and the crime in Kowloon became so difficult for the government to manage, I believe the Chinese government, that they evicted everyone from the walled city of Kowloon. I don't remember if they set them up with provided housing or if they just made them homeless, but they bulldozed the entirety of it. And now I'm talking like, let me pull up the article so I'm not just saying like bullshit facts. I wanna touch on how big it was. Fuck off, AI. Okay, so according to cyborganthropology.com, I don't know if that's a reputable source or not. Kowloon Walled City was the most densely populated place on Earth before it was destroyed in 1993 and turned into a park. That's the thing. When they bulldozed it, they as a way to like emphasize that they never want that to happen again. Instead of doing anything else with that land, like as far as industrialization goes, they just decided to just plant trees and just say this is a public park now, which I thought was like that's a good ending. That, to be clear, that's like I like that that's how that ended up. But also I do like find the walled city of Kowloon so interesting that like in a way, I kind of wish I was a time traveler and I could go there and like explore it before it was demolished, because there's nothing else like it ever since or ever before. When you Google photos of Kowloon, it looks like a sci-fi city. Like it's crazy to me. Oh, it was in China. Okay, I was right. It was in British Hong Kong. Okay, so it was about 6.4 acres of land, and it had a population of 35,000 in 1990, according to Wikipedia. It's crazy. Like, just look it up. It's such a wild. It's just such a wild thing. It was one of the most dystopian environments to ever exist in human history, and this mega building is not that bad. There's much more space in the mega building than there was in Kowloon. As far as like breathable room to walk around without bumping into someone else, the width of the hallways, the density of the population per square foot.
Come on!
But it's still not great. Oh, here we go. This is what I didn't realize all this was down here. This is new to me. Okay, so besides the 2,000 apartments identical to V's, this Watson mega block also features luxury penthouses on its upper floors. Further down, you can find various service points, stores, market stalls, a gym, even a shooting range. To a certain extent, mega buildings are truly self-sufficient, self-contained ecosystems. Many of their long-term residents, especially netrunners, haven't stepped outside in years. That's crazy.
Wait, do you mean crowds? No, the fucking smell. True. Sweet, it is not. Choom, you could boil shit in piss and it'd still smell better than this fucking dump.
This dude's not even wearing a shirt. He's like, it's just too hot.
You blind?
Bro, I was standing still. You walked right into me.
Hey, yo, V. How about a round or two? What do you say? How you like my new punching bag? Just gave me a next-gen ass whooping, he did. Be curious to see how he handles the likes of V. So how about it?
Where'd you get him, Fred?
Off the street. Saw him looking up at me with these big, sad eyes. So I took the poor pup in. Fed him, clothed him. Nah, for real. He's a military bot. Got a sweet deal. And a chum of mine tossed in a few upgrades. Now, here we are.
How's it going? Fight's about to start. Not gonna watch, take notes.
Malone versus Hernandez? Nah. Our chrome friend here don't watch TV. Don't talk neither. Only way he communicates is with them fists.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this.
Light on your feet. Keep that head moving. You got one hell of a punch there, champ. Ever thought of monetizing it? I can arrange a fight or two. What do you say?
Sounds good.
You go in the ring yourself.
Not anymore. Skull's taking too much of a beating. Reflexes ain't what they used to be.
There's ways of fixing that. Korenzikov should do the trick.
Rather dish out my eddies for something else. It's time I started taking it easy.
So it gives you the option to sit on this bench, but look at this, dude. Who would want to sit on this? Like, why is this even a bench? I don't understand. Like, I know it's there. It's anti-homeless, like, hostile architecture so that people don't sleep on it, which is psycho, but, like, no, I'm not sitting down there.
You mentioned something about fighting.
I've seen you landing blows in the ring. You've got sharp instinct, good edge. You can go far, especially if you get chipped. These fights, let's just say they aren't legal, but very lucrative.
Yeah, lucrative for who? You or me?
Both of us. I get a small percentage of the total winnings, you know, as your agent. You get the rest.
Oh, I get it. You want to get rich off my blood, sweat, and tears.
Hey, you gotta make a buck somehow, right? At least I'm giving it to you straight. Fights happen in different parts of the city. You choose where you want to go, put down your eddies, and start swinging. You win, you take home the pot. Manage to drop every last one of them, you get a chance to fight in the grand finale. That all clear?
Crystal.
Good. Oh, except you won't be setting foot outside old Watson. Not yet. You can start in Kabuki. I believe in you, V. Time to show this city what you're made of.
Alright. Oh, Robo guy's asleep.
Pete, your sweet little 45's waiting for its daddy. Purrs after every shot now.
This thing looks like it was cobbled together by some gong-brain DIYer, but it shoots like a dream. That's funny. You know, for someone who loves guns so much, it's strange that he just scratched Dying Knight into the side of the barrel with a fucking pocket knife.
Exactly. Like you.
Nice sword. Love it. Hell yeah. This is one of the coolest shotguns in sci-fi. Tamiura. Now, what about the Dying Knight? It's okay.
So, are we gonna talk about yesterday?
It's all in the report.
Oh, I read it. Except there's no mention of me telling you to Delta the fuck out of there. Yeah, no biggie. Not like that cyber psycho was a tank on 2 chrome legs. What the fuck were you thinking? There's a reason Max TAC exists, you know.
Civilians were in danger. What was I supposed to do? Just watch them get mowed down?
Listen, you, me, and every fucking cop in this city might as well be a civilian next to Max TAC. The day they give us the gear they're packing, go right ahead. Be the hero. Save the fucking day. But hey, until then, you keep your head down and listen to me. That understood?
NCPD scanner hustles. The NCPD will pay you to help fight crime. Gigs. Fixers will contact you when you approach a gig's location. Fixers, these intermediaries will inform you about local gigs available. So this is generally the work available to mercenaries, people who find work in like violence or criminal enterprise. So there's a few different types of mercenaries. Here's what we got. Mercs typically work with fixers, a go-between who slap together a team of pros with the right skills for the client. The job will get done quickly and discreetly for the right price. Most mercs start out on the street, taking whatever comes their way until they can catch a fixer's attention. Only a few of them end up like Morgan Blackhand or Andrew Wayland Boa Boa. That is to say, legends. So, if you don't know, the guy who created the role-playing tabletop game, Cyberpunk 2020, his character was Morgan Blackhand. He's also the radio DJ for Morrow Rock Radio. So Morgan Blackhand is like the main character of Cyberpunk. And then Johnny Silverhand was friends with Morgan, and so was Andrew Whalen and Spider Murphy, and a bunch of these characters you'll kind of bump into later. Morgan Blackhand is not in the game, and he's never mentioned as to what happened to him. But there's more. Like I want to say more about Morgan, but it covers what happens later in the story. So I'll try to remember to bring that up when that stuff happens. But of those, I guess let's cover the different types of mercenaries. So solo mercenaries who specialize in combat skills. They'll fight for corporate or government arms, private security companies, criminal organizations, even the police, but most prefer to earn their eddies as short-term jobs. So there's something about solos is that there is a culture of, if you aren't constantly getting better, then you're falling behind. It's almost like a mirror of like business growth. It's like if a business isn't always growing, then like if a business is breaking even, then it's failing. It's like they can't sustain themselves if they aren't like constantly growing. So the problem with solos is that, or just merc life in general, is that you are either getting better every day, or you are getting closer to the job that's going to kill you. So like there's this like, and it's kind of like fame and supermodeling, where like there is a prime of your life and your career can only last for as long as your prime does. And then when that happens, you either have to bail out of the life and then you have to quickly find something else to do to support yourself, or you're going to go down with your occupation. Your occupation is going to drag you under, and it's going to be the end of you. So it's kind of a nihilistic job to begin with. It's almost a suicidal like line of work. But I guess the dream is you find that one perfect job that sets you up for the rest of your life, so you don't have to be a mercenary when you're well past your prime. Or you could just be like Adam Smasher and just invest so much of your money into turning yourself into more machine than human, and then that way your prime is no longer dictated by your organic body, and instead you're just this fucking like metal coated powerhouse for as long as technology can keep your brain alive. So there is that option, but that's very rare, and Adam Smasher is pretty much the only one who's known for doing it. They must also remain vigilant, as this push for progress can cross a line from which there is no return. Oh, they're talking about cyberpsychosis. According to official MaxTac data, solos are the largest demographic in confirmed cyberpsychosis cases. So the addiction of trying to stay ahead of the game probably pushes solos to overindulge in implants more than your average person, which does make a lot of sense. That tracks. So we already looked at netrunners before, so I'm not going to get into that. The other one is like techies. Techies are the sort to cut their teeth on tech by taking it apart and putting it back together. They open an electric panel and not only know how to shut off the power, but also send an elevator to a specific floor, reconnect an alarm system, or control a military bot from a safe remote distance. So Spider Murphy, which we haven't met yet, is an example of a techie. I think Pan Am and Judy might also be techies, but it's hard to say. And then we have this new menu that was not here prior to the 2.0 patch. So we have Solo, Netrunner, Engineer is the techie. It doesn't say it, but it is. And then it adds Shinobi and Headhunter, which I actually do the most of in my playstyle. So it's funny that those don't have their own designated database entries, because those are the two that I'm primarily doing. It's going to be a minute before I have enough armor to be able to just run straight at gunfire with a sword. But then once I can, I'm going to be doing that exclusively.
Man of the hour. Jeez, took you long enough. Worked up an appetite, just waiting. Sit down, let me finish this. Then we can drop in on Senor Vector.
Didn't figure you was the type for Asian. Would have thought you'd find it too exotic.
What do you mean? What's there not to like? Noodles? Check. Synth sirloin? Check. Get some more chile action up in here, and you're looking at Mama Wells' signature sopa de fideos.
I don't know what any of that is.
Mentioned something about a surprise yesterday. Am I remembering right, or just had a brain fart?
Probably both, because you usually forget shit. But it just so happens, I think I might have bagged us a sweet-ass J.O.B.
Go on.
I mean, maybe it's not as big as that, but just that it's fronted by a little-known someone named Dexter Deshawn. Only the top fixer in Night fucking City. Fat-ass black Jesus of the afterlife. 300 pounds of partly gold-plated cool.
How'd you manage to pull this? Trading your spleen or something? As far as I know, we're not the type to get fingered by Dex.
You, me? Oh, but T-Bug, she's the one that hooked us up. Got us talking. Knew it was a done deal the moment he laid eyes on me. Cause come on, ain't nobody who can resist this. Am I right?
Sure, Jack. Whatever you say.
Man, my coffee's already cold.
Dexter Deshawn? What's the latest spec on him? I know you got info to spill.
He's been off the grid for about 2 years. Word on the street was he took a little vacay.
2 years? That's exile, not a vacation. What was he up to?
Guessing he shoved pizzas in his mouth while jerking off to hardcore virtues. Important thing is he's back. He's a fresh crew, and he found us.
So what's the gig? We meant to come out in one piece?
Our Lord and Savior wants to tell you everything himself, face to face. Oh, no pressure, but this whole deal, he's riding on you now, is he?
Why do I gotta go? You and T-Bug draw straws without me?
T-Bug and Dex go way back, and my face is yesterday's news. Oh, Dex says he needs to check you, talk to you. Look, V, it's his job, his rules. I can't blame him for taking a personal approach. And it ain't as bad as you think, okay? Trust me.
Guess I got no choice then.
Dex is a real deal when it comes to fixers. Don't get me wrong. Don't got nothing against the Padre or Wakako, but Dex is in a league of his own. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me started on fixers. They catch a client, find the cheapest gong to do the job, then drop their corpse at a landfill.
Shit. Hit the nail on the head, V. Gracias a Dios. Estoy lleno. Brought your wheels. Gave them to my guy yesterday to smooth over the dents after our dust-up with the scabs.
Thanks, Jack. Much appreciated.
Some top-notch work Miguel did. Rides like it looks. Factory new.
We'll see about that.
So we rolling or what?
Let's feel this factory new ride.
Alright, so this is your story-given car, but since I didn't get to choose it, I don't really want to use it for the story. I like the idea of starting from nothing and working my way up.
Duck. And Holmes, easy on the gas, huh? I just ate.
So part of starting from the bottom and working my way up is that I'm just gonna call this Jackie's car, and I'm going to be on foot or using the metro until I can afford my first car. It's pretty cheap. I think it's the Thornton Galena. It's like 13 grand, I think. I've already got, what, 9 grand? So I'm on my way.
I was supposed to stop by Vic's anyhow. I got a date. Me and Misty.
You don't say.
She's so sweet. Really gets me, you know?
I just think it'd be cool if the different life paths had different, like, starting cars. Or at the very least, or like even better, would be like letting you choose.
Yeah, this is it. Come on, V. Find me once Vic's done dusting your circuits.
They might be tricky to find since they're not marked on your map. Okay.
But you are not the masters of your memories.
This guy. I love this guy.
Not only to you.
Do you truly believe that those who have sold you your mechanical eyes have resisted the temptation to peek through them? Cameras are all around us, even within us. Your joys, your worries, your life. For them, it is all mere spectacle.
Yeah, if anyone was watching and giving a damn, I'd have half the city's underworld and half its corpse on my ass already.
And if you are their pawn, unknowingly carrying out their secret agendas.
This is gonna come up later. It's actually so crazy how relevant that is.
But who are those who follow our every step, you ask? Why the titans of entertainment in Alpha Centauri?
That might be less relevant.
In their wretchedness, they placate their weary and oppressed masses by putting our laughter, our tears, on full display!
A real conspiracy guy? Like in that show? Wait, get next to him. I'll snap a still of you arresting him for revealing government secrets.
Open your mind before it is too late!
Jessica will like
Bro's
die.
tweaking.
Jesus.
Okay.
Their mothership conceals itself above our
Sometimes you can donate to him, sometimes you can't.
for they are coming.
Hey, V. Dr. Vector will see you now.
I'll sit tight over here. Me and Misty got a little catching up to do.
Fair enough. I'm gonna read these notes.
You look pleased.
Arthur Schopenhauer. I don't know who Schopenhauer
Because I
is.
am. Always. Makes for easier living. But we got a new job lined up from a big hitter at the afterlife.
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof.
Before it is too late!
So, this is Misty's personal computer. She has one message
And they
from
say I've got my
Tinker.
head in the clouds. Earth to V.
Oh, please don't do that while I'm reading. Hey, saw Zen Master again, if he really is even a Zen Master. He was sitting in front of the subway entrance. I waited to see what would happen, just to see if he'd really disappear or if Sweet Peggy was just seeing things. But of course, nobody came up to him. It was like he wasn't even there. Seriously, though. You see a guy wearing his Zen Master's clothes and you don't even bat an eye? Super weird. So anyway, I stared at him. Nothing happened. I gave up. But next time, I'll nail the bastard. Some kind of scam. Gotta be. And then from Misty to Tinker. Maybe he was waiting for you and you gave up your one chance to find the meaning of life.
Anybody there?
Misty, I swear to God. Tinker to Misty. Very funny. Anyway, let me know if you hear about him again. So that's important. That's important because Zen Master is a character in the game, and he's one that I find pretty. What the fuck was that creepy? That was probably Misty. Oh, they're just okay. They're just laughing with each other.
And they say I've got my head in the clouds. Earth to
That
V.
is so creepy. What the fuck? I know it's supposed to be like so like they're socializing. Like it's just ambience of them just having a good time, but it's so not natural and it creeps me the fuck out. Oh. Oh, a kitty. You're a slimy, gross little creature, but you're cute. I like cats.
Aren't you cold? I could warm you up.
Shut up. I'm petting a cat right now. You go fucking mind your own business.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, V. Oh, wow. To what do I owe the pleasure today?
Last gig. Had to jack into a client's neuro socket. Think I might have gotten spiked.
Experiencing migraines, nausea, hypersensitivity to bright lights?
Whole kit and caboodle.
All right, kid. We'll sort you out in a flash. Besides that, how are things?
So, before we plugged into Sandra Dorsett's neural port, and she was suffering from the effects of a scavenger's shard slotted into her that had hacked her, so it blocked her her biomonitor from contacting Trauma Team. That was a bit of a mouthful, but I have faith in you that you could follow that. That being the source of what we're here to kind of debug, to sort of like clean out the virus software that might be left over and maybe transferred to us. I did want to point at the scavs. I did want to take a look at the scavenger database entry. So scavengers are basically human traffickers. Now, they don't always take them alive. Oftentimes, they're just trafficking your organs. But there is a lot of scavenger groups that abduct people off the street for the purpose of torturing them, filming it, and then sharing it as what are called XBDs. So they are like the worst of the worst people, as far as I care. For the factions I've encountered so far, like, scavengers are like literally the bottom of the ladder, and I kill them without remorse like every time I see them. So while Billy is a character who doesn't prefer like a violence as a way to resolve conflict, I will mercilessly execute every single scavenger I see. So just know that, like, in that scav haunt with the Sandra Dorset, that like changed the way that Billy sees the value of life for like sparing people in a fight. If there's a group who are running, like, say, a racket where they hack. Yo, it's me from the future. Past me is about to go on a fucking unintelligible rambling session, so I cut out the whole thing. What I was trying to say was that if someone is doing petty crime and you are a merc who's hired to basically stop them on behalf of an employer, the way to settle that conflict, if you chose to just kill all the petty criminals, the example in question would be electronically hacking a slot machine to skim a little off the top, was to just blow their brains out. That'd be a very extreme and sociopathic, a psychopathic solution to that problem. So Billy would be the kind of person who would not do that, and would instead find a non-lethal approach. Whereas with scavs are like so horrendous in what they do and like how their business model operates that they should not be allowed to live, was the spirit of what I was trying to say. There you go. Go back to whatever you were doing before. But with scavs, it's like I don't even have to be paid to be like investigating them. Like if I just drive past them on the street, I'll pull over and stop what I'm doing to get out and kill them. Because they're the worst. They're the worst of the worst. That's all I had to say.
Met a new fixer. He gave me a job. Name's Dexter Deshawn.
Known quantity from the afterlife. No denying you're moving up.
But something you're not telling me, Vic?
Keep your guard up, that's all. I've heard some things about Dex. He's not as chill as he makes himself out to be.
Need some new kit, but tools, not toys, Vic. Time I bumped up my sights and got a grip.
Really? Now? Finally?
Vic, shit's getting real. Got a job from Dex Deshawn, hitting the major leagues. Need tech that can perform.
The Dexter Deshawn? Well, that is something. But let me guess. Hasn't paid you yet.
Quit crying, Vic. I'll bring you the eddies later, with interest. You know I will.
Last time. You hear? Chair, please. Sit down and relax. Kuroshi Optics. Best I've got, and should be about right under the circumstances. Now jack in.
Kuroshi? Whoa. Vic, nothing tops that on the market.
Sounds like it could come in handy then.
I gave you my word I'd pay you back, but this might be too rich for my blood.
We'll work something out. Right now, I'm just out to make sure you get back in one piece. Eddie's in hand. You peruse and choose while I scan. See what's going on inside. Mark 1, like I said. Decent enough scanner. Displays data on your cornea. Cherry on the top's a built-in external lens disruptor. In layman's terms, any surveillance cam will capture your face as a blur. And just remember, your body will still show up as crystal clear. This should do the trick. Talks to Kuroshi Tech, too.
I'm ready. Carve away.
Excellent. Let's do this. Lay that major league arm of yours right here.
So, what's new in the life of Victor Vector?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, not much. And that's fine with me. I used to live in a world where all that mattered was who's who, what's what, and how's why.
And what happened?
One day, I just dropped it and never looked back. I'll never be a legend in this town, but been sleeping nights ever since.
So, Vic's an example of a solo who just stopped before the job killed him. There's more to Vic, but I'll point.
Keep me waiting all day.
There's more to Vic, but I'll emphasize it after this.
Just like that. Thanks. Now, a bit of anesthetic and I can start cutting. Feel anything?
Same as always. Don't feel a thing. You ask me that every time, you know? Not as if things are gonna be any different today.
Sure thing, kid. I mean, not like there's any risk of a stroke or paralysis, but what do I know? I'm just a doctor. That's what I thought. Lights out for a minute, all right? Okay, let's test this. See the magic in action. Linking you in.
I remember
You might
when
feel a little discomfort at first. Blurred vision, low contrast, glitches.
when the gameplay reveal showed this segment, one of my friends, Cynthia, was so like grossed out by it, just being like, "That is horrible."
Feel all right to you?
It never. I don't know. It never really got to me like that.
Oh, this is fantastic, Vic.
Oh, beautiful.
Scanning people.
Time for the scanner. It might take you a few seconds to adjust, but first time's rarely the charm, with anything, really. Scanner should eventually sync with your thought processes and read your intentions. I also injected an NCPD file search. Run into any ne'er-do-wells? You know exactly what they ne'er did well.
Database of wanted people.
It ought to work like a charm. Now draw your weapon. You should see your ammo count in a brand new sight.
That's not my weapon. So, I think, I don't know. Do I have a reticle enabled?
How about the neurovirus from the last job? Can you check it?
Done and gone while we were putting in your implant. And a full sweep on your soft and circuits. Zap the critter. You're certified bug-free.
Shit, Victor, not bad. I don't know what to say.
Say you'll take this and remember the dosage. 2 whiffs now, and another 2 in an hour.
What am I looking at?
A mild stim. Should boost neurotransmission in the short term and muffle some of the side effects while the implant takes.
Thanks again, Vic. You're the best. I owe you.
Go on, kid. Show them what you're made of.
Okay,
and
so...
once you hit the big leagues, don't forget where you came from.
If we were following his orders, we would take another whiff at like 436. So about Victor, if you can see on his leg, that symbol, and also it's embroidered at the top. It says Trauma Team. So I think Vic either is wearing a Trauma Team medical harness for no reason, or he used to work with Trauma Team. It's hard to say which is which, but he is a doctor, so you know it's the odds are likely. He's got a boxing glove. He's got a punching bag in his room. What is this? Undisputed, is that what that says? 67. Another one for 67. Second place? Yeah. Boxing champion first place. It doesn't say what year. Middleweight, heavyweight, lightweight. International Boxing Championship. Third place, gold glove. Certificate of participation presented to Victor Vector. Second place, heavyweight class, fourth open finals, Watson Boxing Grand Prix, Harrier Bowenhauer organizer. 61. Second place. Is that the date that was on? No, that one says 67. So he's been a runner-up a few times.
Who's winning?
Hernandez. You know, in the old days, that cripple Malone would have been flat on the boards. Now, every last fighter's got extra skull lining. Absorbs 75% of every blow.
Got cash riding on this?
Nah, just looking. It's out of habit more than anything else.
Miss it, don't you? How's biz going?
Can't complain. Corporals learn to keep their distance, and Sokka's back hiring lone mercs. They all gotta have the newest, shiniest implants.
Good thing you got Misty here to help. Handles your griping well.
Yeah, renting out her shop's the best decision I ever made.
You know what? Seems like you're the only person in Night City who's happy with this lot.
You get to a certain age, you drop all your illusions. Life just gets easier from there.
Your heart chakra looks a little out of whack, babe. I can release it for you, but you'd have to watch out for negative energy fields. And
She was okay. That line got cut off. She was gonna say avoid mean reds. His fucking jacket is red. Okay, he's like carrying it with him everywhere he goes. So I don't know how well that's gonna work for him.
I can release it for you, but you'd have to watch out for negative energy fields and avoid mean reds. Anything red.
Thanks, Misty. You're the best. V, yo, listen up. I talked to Dex while you were in with the doc. He's waiting in his ride. For you. Ain't but a hop to where he's parked. Next to Gramsci Burgers.
Okay, do my best to talk us up.
But they are not human, no. But then what you ask?
How's biz, Misty? Booming?
You're the first person to walk in here for 2 days. And 2 days ago, it was a pizza guy. Got lost. People in this town, they've lost their spiritual connection. But well, you know, I'm here to serve them, not the other way around.
So, this statue here, oh, I'll shut up, I guess.
V, listen, I've got this delicate matter. That's why I called you. The number of cyber attacks in the city is on the rise. Now, that's probably not news to you, but this issue matters to me for a few reasons. There are people who say cyberpsychosis can be treated.
Later then.
And I know exactly how that sounds, but I believe even an unproven therapy is still better than a bullet to the brain. If I get a tip about a possible attack, I'll give you a call. Maybe you can investigate before MaxTac hits the scene. But remember, you're not there to execute anybody. Try to incapacitate the attacker, and I'll send someone to pick him up. I hope that's all clear.
So, this statue is related to an online mystery in real life about cyberpunk that more or less has been solved. But for the purpose of Billy's reason for being in Night City, this is related. So these glowing orbs that are they're swirling with like magenta. The conspiracy is of a weird statue downtown with a plaque on it that reads FF06B5. FF06B5 is hexadecimal code for the color magenta, or what was it? It's like fierce pink or something like that. They have a weird word for it. But yeah. So seeing this, Billy would be like aware that he's on the right track, or at the very least, he's close to some kind of clues.
Ah, there you are.
Hey, how well you know Bug exactly?
La mamita got a soft spot for me. No, but seriously, she ain't the type you go out, grab a beer with. Don't actually think she got any soft spots anywhere. For anybody.
He has a fucking incense stick jabbed in his chest. Misty, what is happening around here? Has that always been there? Have I never noticed that?
Gonna be long?
Give me a moment to process. What the fuck is happening?
You've been with Misty a while, huh?
Yeah, about a year. Why?
Just asking. Never thought you'd last that long in a stable, healthy relationship.
Hey, come on, Mano. You know I was raised right.
How's your mom?
Worried about me. Been for a while.
Something happened?
Started climbing our way up. Got more and more knives out there, waiting to stab us in the back. Higher stakes, higher risk, Mano.
I forgot my second whiff.
Whoa, gotta take a piss?
Alright. Better late than never. Alright, okay, that's all there is here. So now we're down to just...
You don't have to talk about it now.
Creatures born centuries ago on the Antarctic ice sheet.
This guy never stops.
They hide their true faces under masks of human skin. Two-faced snakes, oppressors of humanity!
If it's such a big giveaway, won't they just install optics? Or use contact lenses at least?
If it were only so simple! They are reptiles! Their nervous system isn't compatible with human cybernetics.
Then why not have their own rippers invent some?
Are you sure they haven't already?
That doesn't...
And where did this filth slither out from, you ask?
He's not even listening
Antarctica,
to me.
You said that already.
Today they hide amidst the snow and ice of the South Pole. Step by step usurping our crown as creation's chosen. Millions of years ago, they evolved from dinosaurs to become the world's first advanced, intelligent race. And who is their progenitor? Their masters? The scientists of Alpha Centauri! I recognize you. You come here often. Your eyes tell me that your mind has opened to the truth. Will you provide a humble donation so that I may continue my mission?
I'm supposed to be saving up for a car, but yeah, I guess.
You do good work. Use this to wake Night City up.
Thank you for your devotion. I saw a disciple of truth in you from the very beginning.
I am also a conspiracy posting schizo.
Radio waves bear the truth.
Hey, it's me again. I know this feels like a weird place to stop, but I ended up with more footage than I thought I would get. And unfortunately, the way that I'm currently editing these, I can't go over an hour in one video file. Sad, but it is the case. So this will be where this one ends, and the next one will just pick up immediately right here. So bear with it, I guess. Why am I like this?